to introduce you to our fourth one, which is rather peculiar. It's sort of a bit of a conjuring trick, really, because it is known in the country which is its origin as a green wine. It is, however, far from green in colour, and this wine tonight comes from England's oldest trading partner, ladies and gentlemen. It comes from Portugal. England has been trading with Portugal since 1660. And just to show you that I am not totally without brain, Hampshire born, Hampshire bred, strong in the arm. Neither, however, ladies and gentlemen, is it true that I only had 2 O-levels, woodwork and religious studies. So they in 1660, Charles II was restored to the throne of England. You may know that. And he needed a wife. And he needed a wife with some cash. And he looked at me. I had a great deal of sympathy with him, actually. Never mind the sex, get the cash, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what Charles thought. And as you know from stories of Charles, the sex wasn't the problem for him, but the cash most definitely was. So he looked around Europe, and he alighted on a woman called Catherine of Braganza. And Catherine was the daughter of the King of Portugal, and he was loaded, she was loaded, bingo. Unfortunately, they reckoned that relations were not very long-lived, really. But she was a good girl and kept her mouth shut, and lived mostly down the road in Greenwich, and so it didn't worry Charles. However, it did mean that England began to trade with Portugal, and so this Portuguese wine began to be part of that which Charles drank to keep his erstwhile wife and her family happy.
But it's not the same bottle.
In my trade, we have a substance called embalming. It's called formaldehyde. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the next best thing to formaldehyde. Taken in large quantities. Now, Portugal has never got on very well with its neighbour, Spain. In fact, it's always sort of lived in the shadow of Spain. But the one thing, if you go to Portugal, is you'll know that it's on the Atlantic fringes of Europe. And that has given it what they call these days a USP, unique selling point. For it is a place which, taking the grapes of France and the wonderful climate the Atlantic produces this wonderful green wine. Now this is a quote from a Spanish wine merchant of the 1830s. These vines include a number of qualities capable of beguiling a much wider world. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to introduce to you the green wine of Portugal. Only this one, by a magic trick, is red. And it's, well, pink. Rosé is the technical term. This is a blending of red grapes and white grapes to produce something called rosé. And it won't perhaps escape your knowledge to know that this is actually produced on the estate of the Duke of Wellington. When Napoleon was travelling all over Europe, and as you know, Boney, Wellington, went out to give Boney a bashing. And he travelled around Portugal and Spain for 4 or 5 years. And as a result, the people of Portugal and some parts of Spain, were so pleased that he got shot of Napoleon Bonaparte for them, that they gave him huge estates. Estates which the Wellesley family still own to this day. And his son actually bears the courtesy title of the Marquis of Dror. So, ladies and gentlemen, this predominantly dry and slightly fizzy, low in alcohol, I'm sorry, but sparingly high in levels of acidity, which makes up for it, this will tickle your palate, ladies and gentlemen. The wine is pleasant to drink, but it is best drunk when it is young. So this is indeed young. It should always be served chilled and goes well with cold food or plain poultry dishes, which you won't be having with mine either, because they can't afford it. You just got cheese. Rosé, unlike any other red or white wine, very rarely bears a vintage date. Hence why it should be drunk, they say, within 9 months of it being pressed. So tonight, we are able to offer you what is really an exquisite dessert wine. Now this will go well with the cheese that you've been eating. Now we won't be getting birthday cake. Mr. Harris reckon he can't afford birthday. He can't even afford fruit crumble, apple and almond or fresh fruit salad, which would have gone well with it. And I'd just like to tell you one other little story. In my profession, you meet all sorts of clergymen. We had a Roman Catholic priest in the western edge of Salisbury who was a great connoisseur of drink. He especially could detect whiskey, probably at 3 roads away. And one evening I went to see him and he said, "Oh, hello." He could not pronounce Newman properly. He always called me Mr. Newman. Newman. "Hello, Mr. Newman. You've come here with a death, I expect." I said, "Well, I haven't come to see you for any other reason." And he said to me, "Tell me where it is. I'll be straight down." So I said, "It's a lady who lives in Gas Lane." "Oh, I know her well. Has she passed away? God rest her soul." He said, "They've got a very nice whiskey now." So he went off down. He got there at 8:15, I discovered. And I went back to see the family the next morning, and I said, "Did Father come down?" "Well, yes." Came down at 8:15. And he went home at 11:20. And the son said, "We did have a bottle of teachers, Mr. Newman. When Father went home, we only had a quarter of a bottle." But he said he came back at 11:20. Really? Yes, he said he couldn't find his car. Now that would be like going out the front door here and literally to the end of the building. Comes back. And he said, "We said to him, Father, we think we'd better take you home." "No, no, no," he said. "I got God on my side." And that afternoon I went to the auditorium, which, if you were in my trade, you got to visit a fair bit. And when I got there, the Baptist minister was also a part-time policeman. And he said to me, "I'll have a word with you after." So I thought, what's coming down? You know, when I got after the funeral and said goodbye to the family, I went in the vestry and found him. He said, "I stopped to make yours last night." He said, "Really? Who was that?" "You know who that was," he said. I said, "No, you tell me." He said, "Well, I stopped Father Supple. He was coming up the Devizes Road," he said, "on the wrong side of the road, in his car." He said, "It was about 12 o'clock, so I knew this was right." And I said, "Did you stop him?" "Yes," he said. "Well, I attempted to." And he said, "I jump on the pavement." He said, but he did sort of pull up. So he said, I went up to him, he said, I opened the window. "Oh," he said, "it's stunk like a brewery." And he said, I said to him, Father Alfie, I don't think